We know this has been an incredibly difficult time for communities all around the world and here locally, as so many people and so many sectors are affected by COVID-19. I'm here today to talk a little bit of the challenges being faced by our public transit system here in the region. We have a public transit system that is largely funded by transit fares and the gas tax, and over the past month those revenue sources have declined significantly. Public transit use has gone down 80% over the last month, and driving has gone down 60%, which has significantly impacted the revenue of TransLink. During that time, TransLink has been implementing reductions in service in attempts to reduce costs, but even with those changes being made, the organization is losing approximately $75 million a month, or $2.5 million a day. These are very significant impacts to our public transit system, and unfortunately are not going to be financially sustainable. And the organization is going to run into some very major cash flow challenges over the next several months unless significant changes are made. We are here today to reach out to both the provincial and federal government to seek help to avoid major cuts and disruptions to our transit system. Over the past 2 weeks, we have been engaged with both levels of government to share information about the challenges that we're facing, and hoping to get partnerships with those levels of government to recognize the importance of public transit. So far, we have not been successful in obtaining those partnerships, but we are going to continue every day to make those connections. Now, although our transit system is down usage by 80%, there are still many people who are dependent upon our transit system right now. 75,000 workers a day are still accessing public transit to get to their jobs. 9 in 10 trips on transit right now are actually trips to essential services. So these are either to healthcare related, to getting food, or being able to get to those jobs. Individuals who are most reliant and dependent upon transit are also some of the lower income and more vulnerable populations who rely on public transit to either get to work or be able to get food. Our stats indicate that over 30% of our transit users are actually workers either in the healthcare industry or related to food, things that we think we can all agree are so important for people to get there. So although we recognize that transit ridership is down significantly and adjustments do need to be made, we do think public transit plays a very important role to help transportation during this crisis. We also need to be clear that major changes to our transportation system will not only impact our transit system during the crisis, but even during our recovery period. At a time when people are getting back to work and things are trying to get back to normal after this crisis, if we do not get support from the provincial and federal government, there will not be a transit system to be able to support people in that work. This week, both the TransLink Board and the Mayor's Council will be holding an emergency meeting to talk at various measures about what we have to do if we do not get federal or provincial support. I do need to be upfront with the residents of Metro Vancouver. The changes that are going to have to be contemplated are going to be significant. Our transit system in the region will not be recognizable a month or two from now unless we are able to get support. These are going to be dramatic changes that are going to affect all aspects of our transit system, and there will be some elements of our transit system that will no longer exist. We know this is going to hurt people, particularly vulnerable and low-income people, and we strongly want to make the case that this is going to be an important part not only during this immediate health crisis, but also during our recovery phase. So we are hoping that as the weeks go on and as the crisis emerges, we are able to develop necessary partnerships both from the provincial and federal government. We have seen major cities all around the world identify the importance that public transit plays, and those types of emergency reliefs have happened. Just south of the border, the city of Seattle, who has a smaller transit system than here in Metro Vancouver, has received a $500 million emergency relief package. Right here in TransLink, we are anticipating that our revenue is going to be down $600 to $700 million this year. And our immediate call out to help us be able to provide a viable transit service for the rest of the year is in the order of about $250 million from upper levels of government.